Imagine this. March 2007. A dusty, forgotten notebook belonging to none other than the legendary Burt Lancaster, a man known for his integrity, a civil rights marcher alongside Martin Luther King himself. But this wasn't a memoir. Oh no. This was a top-secret blacklist, a chilling inventory of 14 dazzling icons, each branded by Burt as the most malicious people Hollywood has ever produced. He called it a curse for future generations. And trust me, once you hear these stories, you'll understand why. Let's dive straight into the darkness. Number 1 on Burt's list, the person he considered the most cruel. Elizabeth Taylor, the hidden storm behind the violet eyes. You know her as the dazzling queen with those iconic violet eyes. But in 1962, on the set of Cleopatra, Elizabeth Taylor unleashed a storm. She locked herself in her dressing room. Why? A female colleague dared to wear a dress in her color. Production halted for 14 hours, and when the director demanded she resume, she hurled a glass of wine straight into his face. Taylor wasn't just famous. She was a master manipulator. She controlled films, people, even Richard Burton's career. Her marriages? Not love stories. They were constant battles of power, where she'd deceive, seize assets, and manipulate everything to her will. A true queen of chaos. And if you think that's wild, brace yourselves. Next, an icon whose heroic roles hid a terrifying truth. Kirk Douglas, the predator in human skin. He played heroes on screen, but in Burt Lancaster's confidential diary, Kirk Douglas was a cold-blooded manipulator, a predator under human skin, someone who would stop at nothing to destroy defiance. Kirk aggressively intervened in casting. He pressured producers, but worse, he exploited his influence with young actresses. In 1959, actress Lisa Avery was dropped from a major film simply for refusing his private dinner invitation. This wasn't accidental, it was punishment. And get this, Douglas used drugs as instruments of coercion. He'd compel directors, producers, co-stars to obey. Resist, and you'd be removed or forced into dangerous situations. A monster ready to crush any obstacle. Our next name? A woman of fragile beauty. But don't let those sorrowful eyes fool you. Natalie Wood, the fake tears used to manipulate others. Beneath Natalie Wood's delicate appearance was a ruthless manipulator. She'd use any trick. She once deliberately put a co-star in a difficult situation just to remove him from a project, because she disliked him. She even staged a fainting scene on set, halting production for 10 hours, all to pressure producers. Her control was so intense, no one dared resist. And here's where it gets truly chilling. Burt hinted that Natalie Wood's death in 1981 was not just an accident, it was a price to pay for her schemes. A journalist revealed Natalie had threatened to ruin a close friend's career weeks before she died. Burt wrote, "The sea did not kill her, it only concealed what she left behind on the shore. Goosebumps, anyone? From tragic secrets to brutal schemes, this next star might surprise you." Mickey Rooney, the man who took pleasure in verbally tormenting others. Mickey Rooney, cheerful on screen, right? Behind the scenes, he was notorious for abusive treatment. He'd mock and humiliate background actors for trivial mistakes. Burt wrote, "He did not merely humiliate others, he took delight in seeing them collapse before him." His wives? He turned them into slaves in their own home, forcing labor, using violence to control them. His marriages were dark dramas. One brutal incident in 1967, Rooney slapped his wife on a film set just because she was behind schedule. His failed marriages were a long chain of domestic violence. Next up, a legendary icon who turned fragility into a weapon. Marilyn Monroe, the black hole that devoured Hollywood. Marilyn Monroe, the ultimate film icon. But Burt said she was deceitful in love and exploited her status to intimidate directors, co-stars, even studios. She'd forced them to comply with her unreasonable demands. During Some Like It Hot in 1959, Marilyn would frequently vanish from set without notice, halting work for hours. Burt wrote, "She didn't just pretend to be fragile, she turned that fragility into a weapon. She even used secret romantic entanglements to manipulate." In 1961, she began a relationship with producer Jack Warner. When he suggested she work with another actor, Marilyn triggered a dramatic emotional crisis, forcing Warner to make decisions that only benefited her, causing chaos and harm. Moving on to a charming hero whose smile masked pure evil. Errol Flynn, the devil in a gentleman's suit. Captain Blood, Robin Hood. Errol Flynn enchanted Hollywood with his captivating smile, but Burt revealed a man living a debauched life, abusing power to control and destroy. Flynn hosted decadent parties where drugs, prostitutes, and violence intertwined. His victims were silenced by his wealth. And get this, he leveraged connections to escape serious crimes. Arrested for drug trafficking, he used his influence in the film industry to secure his release, continuing his criminal activities. Women? Just tools for his desires. For Burt, Flynn was a boundless monster. Our list continues with a performance so profound, it hit a furious, violent reality. Spencer Tracy, always looking to blame others. In his private notes, Lancaster called Spencer Tracy the devil in the dressing room, a man with fury ready to erupt after every drink. Alcohol wasn't an indulgence for Tracy. It was a powerful tool to instill fear and control. Burt said, "He didn't just drink to get drunk, he drank to hurt." Tracy wielded violence and intimidation like weapons. He was notorious for sexual assault and physical aggression on set. In 1911, during judgment at Nuremberg, he smashed a bottle on a makeup table over a minor mistake. He'd even violate co-stars' privacy as a form of abuse. He could transform into a saintly figure with a smile, then threaten suicide to coerce a co-star. Talk about psychological warfare. Next, America's favorite nice guy who was anything but. James Stewart, the man who judged others. It's a Wonderful Life. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. James Stewart, a symbol of integrity. But Burt said he was a harshly judgmental man. Stewart would quietly note every minor mistake of his co-stars and discreetly pass those notes to the director, keeping everyone anxious and unsettled. His cruelty sharpened in 1957. He refused to act alongside a black actor, cleverly using script requirements as an excuse. He even forged documents to accuse actors who dared oppose him, ruining reputations and forcing them off projects. No need to shout. His quiet presence alone made people feel not decent enough. Prepare for another Fonda, whose cold silence could be more devastating than any blow. Henry Fonda, Hollywood's invisible judge. Iconic roles in The Grapes of Wrath and 12 Angry Men, revered as a symbol of justice. Yet, Henry Fonda was a master manipulator who used cold silence to destroy others. Burt wrote, "He didn't need to strike anyone down with his hands. He killed with silence." He inflicted psychological harm on his own family. His daughter Jane Fonda never felt love, only control. He pushed colleagues to the brink of despair, sometimes even contemplating suicide, just to assert his personal power. He maintained power not through respect, but through fear and sophisticated manipulation. And speaking of Jane Fonda, her angelic face hid a truly frightening skill. Jane Fonda, the brainwasher with an angelic face. Jane Fonda, a talented actress, but with a frighteningly skillful ability to manipulate. On set, she demanded the dismissal of a cameraman simply because he was a Christian and disagreed with radical feminism. When her demand wasn't met, she threatened a press conference, publicly accusing discrimination. Burt recounted her saying, "If you are not on my side, that means you are against justice." He realized she didn't need violence. All she needed was a microphone and a crowd to pressure, harass, and eliminate anyone who disagreed. She'd exploit extreme ideals to force people to take sides, leveraging her fame for public shaming and ostracism. Our next Hollywood legend mastered cruelty in his own home. Bing Crosby, the man who always forced others to obey. Bing Crosby, talented, calm, composed. But behind closed doors, his home was a true hell. Lancaster recorded Bing frequently using a gaze colder than steel to mentally torture his own children. One haunting memory. Bing made his son stand alone in the yard in freezing weather, shirtless because of a low grade, claiming it was so he could experience the feeling of failure. Bing's abuse escalated to physical violence, threats, and beatings. His own son, Gary Crosby, later confirmed it all. "I would rather be the child of anyone, even a criminal, than be his child." A chilling testament to the evil within. And what about the ripple effect of that abuse? Gary Crosby, a distorted reflection of Bing Crosby. Gary Crosby, Bing's son, became a warped version of his father. He was beaten as a child with a golf club. As an adult, Gary was accused of abusing his girlfriend, assaulting others, and smashing a director's car windshield for a dinner snub. He was involved in drug use, prostitution, and attacking innocent people to vent his anger. Burt wrote, "He does not know how to love. The only thing he knows is to make others afraid, because that is the only language his father left him." Gary was living proof that evil is sometimes not innate, but taught, repeated, and ingrained. Next, a screen legend who always chose violence. Joan Crawford, the woman who preferred violence to solve everything. Joan Crawford, a major screen star, but notorious for choosing violence to solve every problem. Within her family, she was far from nurturing. Her daughter Christina was hit with a coat hanger. Joan once broke a comb across her daughter's hand, coldly saying, "Pain is a woman's first lesson." Burt called her the woman who spreads fear. She used both drugs and violence to create a world completely under her control. And finally, a symbol of joy, whose laughter held a razor's edge. Lucille Ball, the haunting smile of a razor's edge. Lucille Ball, a symbol of joy and optimism for America. But for Burt, when the stage lights went out, that laughter became a tool for control and psychological abuse. She didn't just write scripts, she also wrote other people's lives and tore them apart. As the head of Desilu, Lucille was a psychological dictator. She kept a notebook of every minor fault of her employees, from smiles to door knocks. 3 faults? Immediately fired? No explanation. She forced a writer to rewrite a script in 24 hours, then called him into a meeting, laughed loudly, and threw the manuscript in his face. Burt said, "That laughter once saved CBS, but it was also the very same laughter that crushed the spirits of dozens of people." And the ultimate control? Secret microphones in meeting rooms to eavesdrop and determine loyalty. Resist, and the consequences were unimaginable. So, there you have it. The shocking truth from Burt Lancaster's secret blacklist. A bloody warning about the dark secrets Hollywood tried to keep hidden. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who knew these dazzling stars harbored such darkness? What do you think? Which of these icons do you find the most ruthless? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking celebrity stories. You won't want to miss what we uncover next.